Alright, you guys, it is King of the Root back with another video, and I want to talk about Jerry Springer's numbers real quick. He died April 27th, 2023. You already have the 13 and the 4, the masonry numbers, as well as the 4 for... You have the 9 when you have the 27, which you can flip to make it a 6, or you can keep it a 9, which comes out the finality, new beginnings, transitioning. And then you have the 427 when you put it together, what comes out to the 13. You can do 3 times 1 is 3, which is the masonry number, or you can do 1 and 3 is 4. And you have the 2023, which is the 7, and which is the year of the skull and bones. Yes, I stole that from somebody else. If you guys are hip, you know who. We knew a lot of really big ones were gonna die. He was born in Aquarius. He died in Aries. Although Aries shadow self is Libra, Aquarius is another shadow self of Aries as well that a lot of people don't talk about. The funny thing is, we had the same numbers of Jerry Springer's death, and you're going to keep seeing these same numbers because how the year is numbered, the 2023. We had the same dates on May 4th. So 5 and 4 is 9. And the year is 27, so that's 97. You switch it around, it's 79. You're going to keep seeing that when the numbers come around, and do what they need to do. And I found that interesting. Every year you're going to see a certain number frequency come out and keep coming out. Okay. I'm not sure. I actually was out of town when this happened with Jerry Springer. My mom called me and told me about it. I'm not sure what I feel about it, or I haven't had time to dig into it. I've got Real Housewives of Atlanta to catch up on, Bad Boys, you know, all the reality TV to catch up on and shit like that. But Jerry Springer it may just been his time to go. Not everybody is a sacrifice. Although in the industry and with the elite and the Masons and all those higher up people and these cults or whatever you want to call them, whatever name you want to give them, they're always going to use a certain number system. You know, allegedly, you know, some people believe that, you know, some of these people may die. Let's say Jerry Springer died the 26th. But they needed him to die on the 27th. They won't let us know until the 27th because they need a certain number scheme. And they, you know, they're into certain gematria and certain geometry, okay, and mathematics. Is it mathematics? Don't get me the line while I'm trying to sound smart. But yeah, they need certain numbers. The crazy thing is, and I didn't know until maybe, I think like a year ago, I don't remember what I was watching. It may have been like a documentary or something where Jerry Springer came up and they were going over like his shows. But they were talking about how he actually got to the Jerry Springer show, because I believe he started out as a politician. And I don't remember if he was a conservative, like a Republican or what, or he was for the people. It was something that I remember they said it was something he wanted to do. And I don't know if they said it didn't work or what it was, and he ended up switching and doing something else. And the big boys were like, nah, come back and do this. But he continued on, and they weren't mad at him about not coming back over there and doing that. But they were like, you know, you can stay in this group and do this. I don't remember what it was though. But he chose to take pretty much he had, I guess, with the being a politician, he had a certain route and a certain road he could have taken, and it would have been just as successful. Well, maybe not, because he took his divine road he was supposed to take. He took that direct road that Elegua opened up for him, and he took it and he wrote the fuck out of it. I mean, Jerry Springer is iconic. It's just iconic. He was one of the first, I believe, to do the shows like he did, especially with all the trannies and the gay guys and the DL brothers, whether it was scripted or not. Like, you know, that people love that shit. My stepdad to this day still has Cheaters on rerun, still has Jerry Springer on rerun. He's like obsessed with it. And it's like, once you see one of the Jerry Springers or one of the episodes with a certain energy to it, we'll say, like, once you've seen one with the DL guy coming out to the wife, or once you see one with a trainee coming out and saying, I'm a trainee, and everybody acting like they didn't know it was a trainee, when it's like, motherfucker, you know, the trainees back then, not all of them, most of them did not look like the ones we have today. And some of that has to do with genetics. And I was talking to a friend recently too. It doesn't seem like the women are changing as much, besides the white girls. We are noticing that the white girls are coming out with fatter asses now. And not the ones with BBLs. Like, they're just curvier than they used to be. Because it used to be, you know, even with black girls, you know, back in the day when the skinny thing was in, which is probably returning with the whole Black China thing, and her taking out her all that toxic shit in her body, you know, the silicone and shit. We're probably going to ride that wavelength scene. They're kind of, I believe they're setting us up, setting her up for a certain agenda to bring us back into that era of like women just being there, just rocking your natural curves. And if you have a bodacious booty, you were that girl. But you know, back in the day, it used to be just like, it would be like one girl out the group, or you know, every 10 girls would have a fat old ass. It wouldn't just be every girl. You know, bitches would still be bad, especially the black women, and they would still be curvy in a certain way, but they wouldn't have fat old asses like these girls. You know, there were natural women with booties that looked like BBLs, okay? But I went, you know, to the left with this. But, you know, with Jerry Springer, like I said, if you guys don't know his story, it's very incredible. It was a lot of stuff he did, I believe, before he got to the Jerry Springer show, or once he got it. And there was a whole lot of stuff. I think even when he had the show, he was still in politics. I should did my research again before I came into this video. Like, if I was like doing documentaries or doing like biographies, maybe I'll start that. Maybe Jerry Springer will put me on. He's got a good story though. I wonder if they'll do a movie on him. They should, because it's pretty interesting. But I believe, if I'm right, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Jerry Springer did stuff for a lot of Democratic people like us. It was either one or the other, either on the conservative side or on our side with the Democrats. Well, I don't know where I stand as far as the Democrat anymore, because we have found out and they've been busted wide open that they're on bullshit, and they led us into poverty like a motherfucker, especially black folk and those who would be considered others or outcasts or minorities. But yeah, they fed us bullshit and we ate it up, and it was not feeding or sustaining our souls at all. But that's a whole nother story. But Jerry Springer was very influential, and I believe he was influential in politics as well. I just can't remember the story. Maybe one of you guys know, but I bet you a lot of you guys did not know that, because I didn't for a while. I just thought he was Jerry Springer. Didn't really know where he came from, but just know he'd been around for a long time. He's actually been around a lot longer than what a lot of us think. And I'm not just talking about age, like on TV, and just his impact in politics and his other various careers. But the numbers did look kind of funny. It's giving me psychically, intuitively the vibe like it was his time to go, just divinely. And it really is giving me that he died the 26th, and they, like I said, released it the 27th because of the numbers. And the fact that they said, I believe that he didn't know, because I haven't even watched the news report on it. I saw it somewhere where I was staying on vacation recently on the news. I don't watch the news and stuff, but they watch the news at this place all the time. And I caught a bit of it, and they did like the news, I think it did like a whole segment on pancreatic cancer and how it's like a silent killer or some shit all of a sudden, which that could be agenda too. So maybe that's why they killed him in a certain way, allegedly, or he died in a certain way. They're going to push this pancreatic cancer, because I know my mother's grandfather died from it, and it took him out here like this, but he knew he had it. And I believe that's one of those cancers too still to this day, that you once you get it, like, you're pretty much going to be out of here. I believe so, because it fucked my mom up when my granddaddy got it. When she tells that story, she gets very upset. But yeah, wiped his ass straight on out of here. But yeah, that's just some information, you know, not too much of a reading, but the numbers. But like I said, you're going to see that 97 or that 79 flipped around a lot, but don't get confused by that 7, because I was forgetting too with the numerology to times that 7. That 7 still comes back out to that 9, and you flip it to a 6. Okay, anything 9 is multiplied to comes back out to that 9. I believe it may not be the only number, and I believe there's a certain name that is given to numbers like that. I believe it's the 9 though, that always comes back out to that same number. Anything it's like times time, or even added to, like when you add the 9 and 9, you get 18. But when you, no, maybe that's his numerology. All right, I'm having a conversation with myself that shouldn't be on video. All right, you guys, King of the Root. It's been a lot of shit going down. Somebody told me that Will Smith came out as gay. I'm looking online trying to find it. I can't find it. And I told my mom when she called me tripping about it that was probably a rumor that was like on YouTube. You know how people post stuff up and they'll put clips together where like people have said things that kind of maybe insinuated kinda that they were saying certain things, but they didn't really say it. Or they'll like clip together stuff to try to prove their point. I feel like that's what my cousin who called her and told her found, because I can't find it. All I keep finding is Willow Smith and Jaden Smith exposing Will Smith, which them videos I feel like too are those type of videos where there's insinuation, but they're not really giving you any information or facts. But yeah, it's been a minute, you guys. Got initiated into some things, and yeah, just doing me. Stay prayed up. This year is going to continue to be crazy. More mass shootings are coming. More deaths are coming of high-ranking people in high places. More small people in our little worlds, as they would call us, and us regular folk. out here who are struggling. It's going to be more of us who we're going to lose too, or who you're going to see go crazy, who you're going to see die from fentanyl and all sorts of shit. It's going to continue on. Remember this: if somebody is not feeding you back with the same energy that you need, that's going to sustain and feed your soul so that you can elevate and move on to your divine path and walk your divine road, okay, that you're supposed to, don't give them that energy. It's not the time. We're not back in the 90s. We're not back in the early 2000s. Time is running out, and we don't know when. It could be today or tomorrow or another 100,000 years from now. But we know that we're living in a time right now where you're not supposed to be just sharing energy with anybody and wasting it with motherfuckers. And the elder told me that, and she even had to get with me and was like, I won't do it with you anymore. And I hadn't done anything, but she just had to let me know straight up, like, I'm not doing it. And even with her kids, her biological kids, like, I'm not wasting time on that bitch, is what she said, no more. If it's not going to benefit me, not like money-wise, I mean in her spiritual growth. This whole journey here on earth is supposed to be spiritual anyway. Spiritual and nothing really else. The physical is all blah, blah, blah at the end of the day. Okay? King of the Root, a.k.a. the Cursed Prophet, a.k.a. Roman Elijah, a.k.a.